Spirituality concerns you even if you are not spiritual. Just like spirituality concerns you, even if you don't believe there is any such thing as can be called spiritual, if you don't believe, for example, in the existence of the soul or that living beings have an immortal soul, even if you don't believe that, still spirituality concerns you, even if you don't believe in God or gods or anything like that. Spirituality concerns you because spirituality, authentic spirituality, is about the nature of consciousness, that which we call the soul, the nature of consciousness. And I'm guessing you must believe that you have somewhere within something called consciousness, right? So, isn't there a huge benefit? Wouldn't there be a huge benefit in learning what's that precisely, and what are its laws, and what are its goals, where it comes from, where it is going? All of these things are part of, deep inner knowledge that can be acquired on what we call the spiritual path, because the spiritual path is about the discovery of the nature of one's own consciousness. Spirituality concerns you even if you are not spiritual, also because there is no limitation to consciousness, no real definite limitation to consciousness. And consciousness has this natural tendency or will to expand, and there's no limitation to that. There might be temporary limitations, and there are temporary limitations to consciousness, but if we learn what are those limitations, and if we learn how to overcome these limitations, and we work at it, sooner or later, these limitations will be defeated, and consciousness will be able to go beyond those limitations. So, spirituality concerns you even if you are not spiritual, because like anyone else, no one wants to be more limited. No one wants to be more limited in life. People want to feel more alive. They want to learn stuff. They want to discover things. They want to expand. But that is a chief or main characteristic of the soul. The will to expand. The joy in learning. The joy in adventure. The fun there is to discover new things. This is all very normal, healthy stuff. When someone goes kind of the other way and they want to try to extinguish themselves, they want to die, they stay depressed, that's not normal. Those are the symptoms of a consciousness that has been, overcrowded or overtaken by forces which are contrary to its own nature. Something I will perhaps explain in a future video. But for now, I'm saying spirituality concerns you even if you are not spiritual, because there is also in you, just like there is in everyone, the basic will to expand. Spirituality concerns you even if you are not spiritual, also because I suspect, like most people, you have this deep inner questioning as to the meaning of life, as to why you exist, as to if there is a God or not, and such things. Such questions. It may seem strange to mention or to say that, but such questions can be resolved, and the answers to such questions have to do again with the nature of consciousness, which can be discovered. Now, once a certain measure of soul realization has been won within, it is possible to arrive at further realizations about the meaning of life, about what we can call perhaps the divine, not in a religious sense, but in an existential sense. Certain realization further or beyond that of the soul itself become possible. And the important thing to remember here is that without a certain measure of soul realization, or without a certain measure of the realization within of the nature of consciousness, such things will always remain very obscure and mysterious. That's why we call that sometimes esotericism or occultism, because these things seem hidden, but they're not really hidden. One just needs to know how to gain access to those. And no one will never be able to convey a sense of the reality of these things through argument, through reasoning, through belief system conveyed through religions, philosophies, and so on. Any form of religious or spiritual proselytism will never make you touch the realities that belong to the realm of the soul and beyond, such as what we call the divine, because these things are not within the reach of thought. So, to try to understand this, I can simply suggest the following thought experiment. So simply try to be conscious of how thoughts are simply passing through consciousness. They are passing. They emerge, they disappear. Other thoughts emerge, then disappear. And that's how it is all the time. But consciousness does not pass. Consciousness remains in the now. We can only be conscious in the now. We can't be conscious, as I've said before in a previous video, we cannot be conscious in the past or in the future. Consciousness exists only in the now, but thoughts are passing through time. They appear, they disappear. But consciousness is not of time or within time. It is always in the now, whereas thoughts are always passing through time. Since we can be conscious of these thoughts, it suggests that consciousness is more fundamental. The realm of consciousness itself, or pure consciousness, is more fundamental than thoughts, because thoughts again emerge then disappear, but consciousness stays, remains. So this is why the practice of authentic spirituality is very important for anyone who wants to arrive within at a certain realization of the truth behind those very important existential questions. And of course, pure consciousness or consciousness itself is the key to innerly arrive at that, not thought, and therefore not beliefs either. One final reason why spirituality concerns you, even though you may not be spiritual, is simply because the practice of authentic spirituality will eventually allow anyone to realize the nature of what we call wisdom. And one way to describe what wisdom is the intelligence of the soul. Now, we have spoken about enlightenment in previous videos, and enlightenment or light is really the nature of consciousness. It is what consciousness is, not something at which consciousness arrives at. It is its nature. Only we have to work at realizing this, and that's the difficulty of it. That's the challenge. But within this light, there is an innate intelligence, and that is what is called wisdom. And that wisdom, or that light, enlightens, in a sense, everything it comes into contact with. So I think we can have the intuition that such light and such wisdom would be of great benefit to oneself personally and to mankind as a whole. And through such light and such wisdom, or through the intelligence of the soul, will eventually appear what we call, or what is sometimes referred to as, the knowledge or the intelligence of the gods, as surprising as that may sound. And there is a body of knowledge that already exists, that many people already know about, called theosophy, which means etymologically, literally, the knowledge of the gods. Theosophy. So if you already know about that, if you have an opinion about that, drop a comment below, let me know what you think. And I will see you in the next video.